This is CBS News New York.
I will be sworn in as the mayor of New York City. And that is because of you.
Why now at 5, waking up to a wave of blue. Democrats sweep the big races in New York and New Jersey. Zohran Mamdani making history after being elected as New York's first Muslim mayor. Plus,
serving you is worth any tough fight I have to take on, and I am incredibly honored to be your next governor.
She campaigned on affordability and took aim at President Trump. Now Mikie Sherrill elected New Jersey's next governor. What she says she's going to do on day one.
watch out for gusty winds in this first alert weather day. How strong they'll get and when the most of it moves through our area.
Good morning on this Wednesday, November 5th. I'm Chris Raggi.
I'm Mary Calvi, and welcome to CBS News New York. Let's get you right over to Tony and find out what we're expecting today in that first alert forecast. It's 5 o'clock right now. Hey, Tony.
Hey, good morning, guys. Lots to talk about weather-wise. The headline of the day is it's a beautiful day, but the headline for tonight is it's a first alert weather day because the winds are going to ramp up and it could get hazardous. So here's the headline. So the gusts can go 50 to 60 miles per hour. The timing is 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. where we've got widespread wind alerts. Tree damage, down trees, that's what we're worried about, as well as some isolated power outages. Here's how we get there. So we'll take a look at the satellite radar, and as you can see, we are in the clear, nothing doing right now, but this is our system. Does not look that impressive. It's going to come blaring through, though, with some big-time winds and even a rain chance, too. The rain chance we think is pretty minimal, but we'll have to watch out for it. Do you take the umbrellas today? I don't think you need to, unless you're out after like 9, 10 o'clock tonight. So you see how those showers start to ramp up, and mainly north of town with everything kind of fizzling as it works through by later on this evening. We'll have much more on what you need to know for your First Alert Weather Day coming up in just a bit. Now to First Alert Traffic, guys. Daniel's got the latest at 5:01. Morning, guy.
Good morning, Tony. We have some slow traffic in Westchester. We have construction. It leaves only one lane open on the southbound side of the New England Thruway. This is right between Mamaroneck and New Rochelle. The hutch is wide open. That's going to be your best option if you're headed southbound. In New Jersey, roadwork has the northbound truck lanes closed on the turnpike between exits 9 and 14. No delays here as all traffic is using the car lanes. Taking a live look at the FDR, we have some construction southbound right near 38th Street. Delays are back into the 40s. The West Side Highway, Henry Hudson combination, that is wide open. That's doing well. And we still have some subway issues in Manhattan. Uptown D trains are running with delays due to track maintenance at 155th Street. Alternate side parking is in effect today citywide. Chris and Mary, back to you.
Okay, Guy, thank you. Well, you voted and the results are in.
We have team coverage of Tuesday's election. Elijah Westbrook is at City Hall. And the New York mayoral race is Asa Schuler, Long Island City with voter reaction. Christina Fan is in Montclair, New Jersey with the results of the New Jersey governor's race.
We first turn our attention, though, to the New York City mayoral race.
And Zohran Mamdani will become the next mayor of New York City following a nearly 9-point victory over former Governor Andrew Cuomo. The race drew national attention and the largest voter turnout in 30 years.
We begin our coverage with Elijah Westbrook at City Hall in Lower Manhattan. Elijah?
Well, Chris and Mary, a new political chapter is set to rise over City Hall. Zohran Mamdani is claiming victory last night over one of the most competitive mayoral races in recent history. It was a celebration at the Brooklyn Paramount Theater overnight. Zohran Mamdani took the stage declaring himself New York City's next mayor.
On January 1st, I will be sworn in as the mayor of New York City. And that is because of you.
Mamdani, who is a Democratic socialist and state assembly member from Astoria, Queens, ran on a platform of affordable housing, public transit investment, city-run grocery stores, and free child care, to name a few. He's set to become the city's first Muslim mayor, the first of South Asian heritage, and the first born in Africa. He will also become New York's youngest mayor in more than a century when he takes office in January.
You showed that when politics speaks to you without condescension, we can usher in a new era of leadership. We will fight for you because we are you.
The city's Board of Elections says more than 2 million New Yorkers cast ballots in this year's mayoral race, making it the largest turnout in a mayoral race in more than 50 years. As the celebrations continue, the focus now shifts to governing. He will now have to begin staffing his incoming administration and planning how to accomplish the ambitious agenda that drove him to victory.
This will be an age where New Yorkers expect from their leaders a bold vision of what we will achieve, rather than a list of excuses for what we are too timid to attempt.
Now, current Mayor Eric Adams says he is congratulating Mamdani and says he will begin the transition process or help Mamdani with the transition process into City Hall. We're live right now just outside City Hall in Lower Manhattan. Elijah Westbrook, CBS News, New York.
5:05 and continuing our team coverage, we turn to Aziza Shuler live in Long Island City. You'll be talking to voters this morning. Aziza, what are people saying so far?
Good morning, Mary. Well, a message we're hearing from many voters is New Yorkers are tired of the same old politics. They're ready for change, which is why more than 1 million of them voted for Mamdani because they were drawn to his bold policies and promises, freezing rent, making buses free, and delivering universal child care across the city. Voters we spoke to see the 34-year-old Democrat as someone who understands what it's like to be a hardworking New Yorker struggling to afford this city. Now they're holding him to those promises, watching closely to see if Mamdani can actually deliver on making New York City affordable for everyone.
Well, I would love to see Zohran make do on his promises, obviously, but we know that he has a fight, that a lot of people are against him, and hopefully we can overcome that.
Yeah, I think that the city is not affordable at all, and I think also I believe that Zohran will definitely fund pre-K and then also just childcare in general. I think that is just too high. I don't have children yet, but I plan on having children, and if I'm going to stay in the city, it needs to be more affordable.
Some of the people we spoke to also acknowledge Mamdani's limited experience, but say they're willing to bet on him anyway. Now, a few people that we're hearing from in the subway station this morning who did not vote for Mamdani say they didn't vote at all because none of the candidates resonated with them. Live in Long Island City, Aziza Shuler, CBS News, New York.
Aziza, thank you. As the results came in last night, Andrew Cuomo did something that he's never done before, deliver a concession speech on the night of a general election. While Cuomo's attempted political comeback was spoiled during his speech, he called his campaign, quote, a caution flag that we're headed down a dangerous, dangerous road. Still, he did correct his supporters when they began to boo at the mention of Mamdani's name and sent a message of unity.
It was their night, and as they start to transition to government, we will all help any way we can because we need our New York City government to work. We want it to work for all New Yorkers because our city is the greatest city in the world, and we will unite for New York City because we love New York City.
And Republican mayoral nominee Curtis Sliwa had less than 10% of the vote last night. The Guardian Angels founder came out to address his supporters at his campaign headquarters on the Upper West Side. He and his wife at his side in tears, with tears in his eyes. He had a message for Zohran Mamdani.
Obviously, I wish him good luck because if he does well, we do well.
The Brooklyn-born candidate built his campaign on public safety, quality of life, and animal welfare.
Now to New Jersey, the governor's race. Democratic Congresswoman Mikie Sherrill, the projected winner against Trump-backed candidate Jack Ciattarelli.
She won 56-43, becoming the state's second female governor. Christina Fan joining us live from Montclair, where Sherrill calls home, with more on a hard-fought race. Christina.
Mary and Chris, good morning. Mikie Sherrill's victory last night was a huge win for Democrats in a state where President Trump was hoping to make inroads after dominating in 2024 and gaining ground. She was highly critical of the president throughout her campaign and views her victory as a referendum on the president's policies.
Democrat Mikie Sherrill took to the stage with her family election night, declaring victory with a commanding lead to become the next governor of New Jersey.
I know your struggles. I know your hopes. I know your dreams.
The four-term Congresswoman and former Navy helicopter pilot promised to focus on affordability and declare a state of emergency on day one in office to drive down utility costs.
As the president is backing away from this ideal, cutting SNAP, ripping away health care, terminating Gateway, we here in New Jersey are bound to fight for a different future for our children.
Third time was not the charm for Republican Jack Ciattarelli, who said he called and congratulated Sherrill to wish her the best.
As John F. Kennedy once said, life's not always fair, but I am proud of the effort we put forth.
And Sherrill's win extends her party's control of the governorship to 3 consecutive terms, a feat that no political party has been able to achieve in over 60 years. Reporting live from Montclair in New Jersey, Christina Fan, CBS News, New York.
And we'll be hearing from Governor-elect Sherrill coming up later on CBS Mornings. You can look for that live interview in the 7 o'clock hour.
Well, the race for Jersey City Mayor now advances to a runoff. City Councilman James Solomon and former New Jersey Governor Jim McGreevey were at the top of the vote, but neither got more than the 50% needed, forcing a runoff election on December 2nd. They were among 7 candidates on the ballot vying to replace Mayor Stephen Fulop, who decided to not run for a 4th term as mayor of the state's 2nd largest city.
5:10 right now into the race for New Jersey State Assembly District 32. 2 seats up for grabs. Hoboken Mayor and Democrat Ravi Bala projected to win, along with Democrat Katie Brennan. District 32 covers Hoboken and parts of Jersey City.
And for New York City Comptroller's race, Democrat Mark Levine has won with 90% of the vote in a resounding victory.
CBS News' exit polls are giving us some insight into the minds of New York City voters, including some surprising findings. An overwhelming amount of them, 71%, said they disapprove when asked about President Trump's job rating. Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani energized voters with his focus on making America's largest city more affordable, running as a Democratic socialist. But when voters were asked if they identified as a Democratic socialist, most said no, a whopping 70%. Stay with us for continuing coverage of all the races on this historic election. We have the latest reaction from voters around the tri-state. That's coming up in our next half hour.
All right, let's get you an update real quick on your weather forecast with Tony Sadico. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Chris. Cool and crisp. That's the way to call it this morning. Temperatures, despite yesterday's blustery chill, are actually down this morning. For some, it's a couple of degrees. For some, it's the double digits. 14 degrees cooler. Yaphank, 15 in Cranberry. You're stepping out the door, it's 33 degrees. 49 in the city. Scarsdale's checking in at about 45. So widespread in numbers this morning. But look at where we're headed. We've got room to grow. Mid-60s, partly cloudy skies. The headline, though, is going to be the winds. Could make travel difficult as we check out your first alert flyby in our Chevy Chopper. We'll talk about the widespread wind alerts we've got in effect for our region when I see you coming up in just a moment. First, let's talk to Guy Stanier. He's got the latest in your first alert traffic at 5:12. Hey, Guy.
Good morning, Tony. We still have an issue in Westchester. Construction leaves only 1 lane open on the southbound side of the New England Thruway between Mamaroneck and New Rochelle. Nothing out of the ordinary for drivers through this area. Definitely want to head over to the Hutch. That is wide open for cars. That's wide open and moving well. We have some new subway issues in Manhattan. Downtown A and the E trains are running express only from 59th Street to Canal Street. This is all due to a signal problem at 34th Street Penn Station. Checking the rest of Mass Transit's Big Four, everything running on or close to schedule for Metro North, PATH trains, New Jersey Transit, and the LIRR. Alternate side parking is in effect today citywide. Chris and Mary, back to you.
Guy, thank you. 5:13 coming up. New video shows a deadly cargo plane crash that shut down a major airport in Kentucky. What caused the UPS jet to go down? The government shutdown hits day 36, now the longest in U.S. history. What could be a critical meeting this morning as pressure builds to break the stalemate?
Our election coverage continues. Democrats swept some key races in other parts of the country. In Virginia, Democrat Abigail Spanberger projected to become the Commonwealth's first female governor. The former Congresswoman and CIA operative soundly defeated Republican Winsome Earl Sears, the current lieutenant governor.
CBS News projects Proposition 50 is passed in California. The measure, which had the backing of Governor Gavin Newsom and legislative Democrats, will now redraw the state's congressional districts. It's intended to make several Republican-held congressional districts in California more favorable to Democrats in the 2026 midterms. It's part of an effort to counter recent redistricting in states including Texas that favors Republicans.
Let's send it over to Tony Sadiqa right now with your first alert forecast. Hi, Tony.
Hey, good morning, Chris. It is a first alert weather day for big time winds. That's how we close out the day. But how we start the day is with a beauty. Remember how nice yesterday felt with sunshine? Well, it looked nice. At times it felt kind of blustery with the wind. So what we've done today is we retain the sunshine and we start to dial back the winds the first half of the day. So all that leads to some very pleasant conditions to be outside. Let me show you what the winds are doing right now. And hey, they're calm. What that means is, hey, it's not too problematic as you're standing out there. You're not met with that very challenging breeze, but that also means temperatures are cooler this morning. But let me show you where the winds are going. And by late tonight, we've got some powerful winds we're going to be contending with. These are gusts, the short burst of winds, 50, 45 to parts of the over 50 miles per hour. These are the type of winds that could do some damage, and that's why we've issued a first alert weather day. It's also why we've got widespread wind alerts that go into effect at 9 o'clock tonight through 8 o'clock tomorrow. Everything from wind advisories to wind warnings. The wind warnings exclusive right now for Ulster County, but we got widespread wind watches for gusts that can go 50 miles an hour plus. That means scattered trees could come down, power outages too, and we got to be concerned about a lot of the trees in and through the city where we aren't quite at peak foliage yet, where some of those leaves could weigh down these trees. And the advisories too, we could see some scattered tree limbs and isolated power outages. And here's how we do it. Winds during the day are out of the southwest. Winds late tonight will start to come in out of a different direction as we could blow in some showers late tonight. We think the rain chances here are going to be pretty low impact, minimal, but still something we want you to be prepared for if you're out late this evening. Once that goes by, it's a weather shift. Cooler tomorrow, 53 with a gusty wind. We'll start to effort a climb into Saturday before a big time drop in temperatures heading in early next week. We'll check your neighborhoods in a moment. 5:18. Let's check the traffic situation. Guy Stanier standing by with the latest. Hey, Guy.
Good morning, Tony. We still have some slow traffic through Westchester. Construction leaves only one lane open on the southbound side of the New England Thruway. This is right between Mamaroneck and New Rochelle. We also have construction on the southbound side of the FDR Drive right near 38th Street. Slow traffic is back into the 40s. The west side is moving well. Better news for Long Island's Big Three. Lots of green here. The northern state, the southern state, the Long Island Expressway, those are all moving well. And we have some subway issues in Manhattan. Downtown A and E trains are running express only from 59th Street to Canal Street. This is all due to a signal problem at 34th Street Penn Station. Alternate side parking is in effect today citywide. Chris and Mary, back to you.
Guy, thank you. 5:19 this morning, the NTSB is expected to begin on-site investigations into the UPS plane crash near Louisville, Kentucky. UPS Flight 2976 crashed shortly after taking off yesterday from the Louisville airport, leaving a trail of flames just miles from the city's downtown. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear confirmed that 7 people died. 11 people had very significant injuries. According to the Louisville mayor, 4 people died on the ground. Late last night, officials reduced the shelter-in-place order to a 1-mile radius.
It is now safe enough that we are allowed to, we're able to take some of our firefighters, finish up with the spot fires, but create a formal grid to continue to search.
The NTSB is expected to arrive at the crash site this morning. Louisville Airport was shut down following this crash. It's expected to reopen this morning.
Well, today marks day 36 of the government shutdown, breaking the record as the longest in history set during the first Trump administration. Sources tell CBS News President Trump said to meet for breakfast with Republican senators today. He's refused to negotiate with Democrats, but hopes are high that a bipartisan group of senators may be close to a potential deal that could end the stalemate. The news comes as Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is warning chaos may just be days away with mass flight delays, cancellations, and the closing of airspace around the country.
5:20 on your money watch. Futures are mixed this morning as investors await earnings reports from dozens of companies, including McDonald's, Robinhood, and Lyft. Stocks tumbled yesterday after industry leaders warned of a potential market bubble in tech stocks. The Dow sank 251, S&P dropped 80, the Nasdaq plunged 486.
Time now is 5:21. Up next, talk about a plot twist. 2 of the biggest stars of the Jets packing their bags and headed out to other teams. And Quinton Williams is headed to Dallas. Sauce Gardner's going to the Colts. What team management has to say about all these moves and the picks they acquired.